Gary sits at the kitchen table. In front of me is a small stack of papers, neatly aligned like they're pretending to be harmless. Mandy, I wanted to compare health plans. I look at the thickness of the stack. Bendy, I didn't realize it would involve this much reading. And I lift the papers slightly and let them drop back onto the table. I've read novels shorter than this. Melnji, I pick up the first page with confidence. I don't entirely feel. This one says it's simple. Belend, I narrow my eyes at that word. That's usually a warning. I begin scanning slowly. It says, when comprehensive coverage. Then I pause, and I don't know what it's comprehending, but I hope it includes me. I turn the page. I lean closer. There are columns. There are rows. There are tiny numbers sitting in boxes like they pay rent there. Why does healthcare need a rainbow? I trace one column down with my finger and immediately lose my place. Malianju, I think I just compared dental to something involving emergency helicopters. I lean back in my chair. When I was younger, health plans were straightforward. You went to the doctor, they helped you, you went home. That was the system. Nobody handed you a booklet that looked like tax preparation. No tears, no bronze, silver, gold, like I'm choosing jewelry. I flip the page over to see if there's a translation. Blindy, I don't know what any of that means, but I'm sure it's important. And there's a paragraph explaining out-of-network benefits. I don't even like being out of my neighborhood. I rub my eyes. At this point, my body made a suggestion. It suggested a nap. I look at the stack again. Minda, I told it just 5 more minutes. Dinda, my body did not look convinced. I return to the paragraph I was reading. And I've read this before. I scan it again, twice. I still don't know what it's saying. Bendit uses words like deductible, company insurance, and maximum out-of-pocket exposure. Exposure to what? And I lean back again and stare at the ceiling. I don't want to make a mistake. This isn't about picking cereal. This is about whether I can see a doctor without needing a second mortgage. This is about feeling secure. I grab a pen and circle one plan. I almost chose this one. It looked affordable. The monthly number didn't scare me. That's how they get you. Then I noticed what it didn't include, and apparently affordable means selective. It includes checkups, but only if I'm feeling cheerful about them. I keep reading the fine print. Is that specialist? That costs extra. I put the pen down slowly. I realize something. That's how you end up needing the plan before you even pick it. So I changed my approach. Instead of trying to decode the entire healthcare industry, in one morning, I decided to simplify. I picked 3 questions. Lumbi India, I hold up 3 fingers. Can I see my doctor? If the answer is no, we're done. Bland, can I afford it every month? Not just in January when I'm optimistic. Every month, and will someone answer the phone if I need help? That one feels important. because if I'm confused now, imagine how I'll feel later. I look back at the stack. Man, I don't need to understand every acronym. If PPO wants to remain mysterious, that's fine. I just need to know I won't be stranded with a brochure and a headache. I stack the papers again, slightly less intimidated at Badr-san. I don't rush decisions like this. If something is supposed to protect my health, it shouldn't require me to sacrifice it while reading. I lean back in the chair and close my eyes for a moment. I'm not quitting. I'm pacing myself. Celine, there's a difference. Tomorrow, I'll call and ask simple questions. Calm ones. The kind that require real answers instead of colorful charts. For now, I push the stack slightly to the side. Len, my solution is simple. Fewer questions, slower decisions. I glance at the couch in the other room. And yes, a nap before choosing. Because if a health plan is this complicated while I'm awake, I'd rather face it well rested. Leon, and if I dream about charts and acronyms, at least in my dream I'll understand them.